What's up, guys? It's JC here today. Uh, I'm doing this video and my next one as well. Will be an analysis on the games that happened this past weekend and a review like when every try that was scored and penalties and all those wonderful things. Alright, obviously going to start with the first game, this Box against the All Blacks. As I said before, it's not a result I wanted, and not the result I thought. Okay, what I'm going to start with is what cost the Boxer game. The way we started, it seemed to me especially in the first 20 minutes, the guys that played, some of them looked like the occasion was a bit much for them, man. And they were chasing ghosts, and it was just pure poor rugby and decision making. Every time we seemed like we were going to get momentum, they either gave away a penalty, or we knocked the ball on, or something went wrong. And those that are saying that the ref was poor, remember, okay, maybe the ref was poor, but the ref was not did not favour the All Blacks. I mean, there was a neck roll, which normally is a cardable offence from Loot Diache, that the ref didn't give a yellow card for. So before we blame the ref on this one, we need to also look at a few calls that didn't go against us completely. Alright, so let me start with the match. The first 20 minutes, you can't even complain about the Bok team because they weren't there. And, I mean, the first try came as early as 4 minutes. Aaron Smith, a converted try. Within 4 minutes, it was 7-0. And then 5 minutes later, we gave away a penalty. And it already, 9 minutes into the game, you could already see the tone of the match. Richie Mawanga converted a penalty, which already 9 minutes in, it's 10-0. 4 minutes after that penalty, 14 minutes into the match, score's already 17-0. Shannon Frizzell went over, beautiful try. It was a forward that looked like the try came from backline player. Pure beauty. Yeah. You get those of you that watch a match would agree with me. Okay. Then we improved a bit, not too much. Faf de Klerk got our first points on the board on the 35th minute. Score 17-3. 2 minutes later, as soon as it looked like we were coming back, we gave away another penalty again. Tone of the match, we get momentum and then we mess it up, give away penalties and poor decision making. Rich Manga kicked the penalty and suddenly halftime it's 23. Okay. Now my analysis on the halftime is our possession. We didn't keep our possession enough. We either lost the ball, knocked the ball on, or we just kicked it away, or we gave away penalties. Our discipline. Where last week against Australia we were beautiful. We only gave away 3 penalties. This week we were already in the first half. Our penalties were in the double digits. Okay. Again, you can't blame the ref. We were just poor. As I said, it looked like Acacia got to a few of those, which isn't an excuse, because a couple of these guys were World Cup winners, and yeah, there's no excuse. How poor we were in that first half was inexcusable. So anyways, let's get back to the second. Let's now get to the second half. Okay. 12 minutes into the half, you could already see an improvement. Bomb squad came on, but we did improve. But again, we were still not good enough. Malcolm Marx scored a first try of the second half, and it was converted. Score was in 2010. Then 7 minutes later, we gave away another penalty. In the 59th minute, Richard Mwanga slots a penalty. Scores are now 23-13 again. Sorry, 23-10. I just want to put this out there. Okay? I mentioned the name Malcolm Marx. Why was Malcolm Marx? Because I can tell you now, every game Marx started against All Blacks, we won. We won. Every game Peter Steph du Toit started against All Blacks, we won. And I said in my previous videos, and I will say it again, every match against All Blacks, 9 times out of 10, comes down to 5 or 10 minutes of brilliance. Lapse in concentration, points are scored in matters of 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Every time. Which, again, and I'm saying this to the Irish and the French. If you guys want to beat the All Blacks, especially in the World Cup with France, if you want to win that opener, you're going to have to be mentally, physically, you need to be at your best for a full 80 minutes. That's what it comes down to. Because if you blink, you just blink and you lose concentration for 5 minutes. That's costly. In that 5 minutes, it costs you 14 to 21 points. Right. And again, sorry, I just went off topic. Malcolm Marx, Peter Steph du Toit. There are a few other names around that page. R.G. Snyman. All those guys. Okay? The games that they start against All Blacks, we won. Why is that? Because it's a style they play. It's their style. Marx is an extra fetcher, and he's physical. He's not scared to throw his body into contact. And 9 times out of 10, when Malcolm Marx or Peter Steph du Toit, all those guys get a ball, we win field. Faf de Klerk, I'm not gonna rag on him. Faf de Klerk had a decent. He was one of the standouts in that poor first half. But Faf de Klerk's style of play, the All Blacks have already found a counter for those box kicks. The All Blacks, believe it or not, guys that watched that game will agree with me. Normally, where our kicking game is strong, our line-out games are strong, our scrum game is strong. It still is, we still won a few scrum penalties. But the All Blacks found a counter for that, guys. Williams, that was on the bench. A 22-year-old that weighs 144 kilograms. So we're going to have to find other weapons, gents. We're going to have to find other weapons. You don't want to play a kicking game, a territorial kicking game against the All Blacks. You don't want to do that. If you want to beat this All Black side, you need to keep ball in hand. Okay? You need to play with your forwards as well as your backs. Your backs and your forwards. Watch these All Blacks. Their backs and their forwards link beautifully. They're big boys. Shannon Frizzell scored a try. He was in the corner. Where a lot of teams have their flanks close, the All Blacks have an extra set of forwards on the side. Watch it. And our rush defense, it will work against the Australians, it can work against the Irish, it can work against the French. But the All Blacks found a counter for that. Those 1-2 passes. Where our rush defense used to be beautiful. The All Blacks found a counter for it. I wish I had a video. Just a few examples. The All Blacks have an extra runner. They almost, you can almost say it's a little. Okay, you can't call it an overlap because there's still a defender there. But where our defenders come forward, the All Blacks spot that gap, pass the ball. I'm gonna get to a few. I'm gonna get to a try or two that were caused by that. But Shannon Frizzell's try is also an example of it. The Shannon Frizzell's defender came forward. Then they left a gap open, and Shannon Frizzell took that gap. You see what I'm saying? The All Blacks have found counters for us. The All Blacks have adapted to our game. And there are only two issues that I have with our coaching. Our first choice 15 selection. And I said it in the video. I still don't know why Marks was benched. Why do you have a couple of guys fly out to New Zealand a week before the game, and then you still bench one of the top guys, a man that can write a novel, a Bible on how to beat the All Blacks, and you bench him? Some will say impact. My guys, our impact players, when the bomb squad came on, it was already too late. 20 minutes in, we went in halftime, 23. It looked like we were coming back, but by the time when that score was, it looked like we were coming back. It was done because the guys were bombed out. You don't want to bring a bomb squad on in the 43rd minute of a match. You don't want to be forced to bring them on in the 43rd minute of a match. Because come the 80th minute, those guys need to be fresh still. You get what I'm saying? Alright. So then, after Mwanga's penalty, Jason Colby ran him for a beautiful try. In the 61st minute, Colby's try, but it was missed. Colby missed his conversion. Score there was 23-15. And then here's an example of one of those tries that, sorry, it was a cross kick, but a beautiful try. Another counter that the All Blacks found for our rush defense. Will Jordan crossed over in the 68th minute, and the try was converted. Score was then 30-15. Then Richie Mwanga's crossed over 8 minutes after that in the 76th minute. Missed the conversion. I think that's the only kick he missed. In the 76th minute, score was 35-15. It was already too late. And then Quagga Smith crossed over. Well worked try. Score 35-20. Now I'm going to go through a couple of talking points here. Okay. Just a few, not complaints. Okay, there's controversy. There one try that was disallowed for Cheslin Colby. I'm going to say why that try was disallowed. Okay, look, I'm one of those that says that when I first saw it, that try should have been given. But then I went back and I looked. Okay, yeah, the ball wasn't knocked on, because it was knocked backwards, okay, by Cheslin Colby. And also, if it was knocked on by the Kiwi, it would be knocked forward. But the reason why that try was disallowed was, when you're over the try line, okay, you need to have control of the ball, okay. Colby first dropped the ball backwards, okay, and then he had his hand on it. If you're already over the try line, okay, the ball drops out of your hand. Let it be backwards or forward or sideways. And you put your hand on it. The try will be disallowed because your first contact there was no control. That's why the try was disallowed, okay. Another talking point. I've seen people I've seen polls. I've seen many things or on platforms where the ref was labeled poor. Okay. Look, Matthew, look, not the best reffing performance. Okay, and I'm not saying that because we lost. I'm saying that on both sides of the pitch. Not the best reffing performance, okay? But the reffing was not unfair. Reynolds did not blow for any of us, okay? If you look at the penalty statistic, okay, the penalties are even. They were even. I think we only conceded two or three, few penalties at some point in the match. We were only two more penalties than what the All Blacks conceded. You have to look at how much possession and territory each team had. Okay. If you're under pressure, you're going to concede more penalties. Okay. If you have less possession and you're on defense more, you're going to concede more penalties because tackles, you tackle high, you get frustrated, you go into a ruck too hard, you get overly excited and go into a ruck. So, and those things, okay? And the laws of rugby today, we don't like the laws, but there are laws, okay? You see. And my only complaint about Reynolds was, at points he was playing the game to death, man. I mean, he was playing the game to death. You can't blame the ref for the loss. The Boks were poor. Wasn't our greatest performance. Okay? We lost to a better All Black side. We lost fairly. You know, and I'll be honest, I'm glad that we lost now. Look, I didn't want us to lose. I was screaming for South Africa. But I'm glad we lost now. Okay? Because this loss, if this had to be in the World Cup final, we would have lost the World Cup. Okay? So, you know, as I said, I'm glad we lost now. Then now at least we have lessons that we learned before the World Cup. We got Argentina next. Then we got our three warm-ups. England, Wales and New Zealand. Okay, I don't know what order we're playing them in. So we got 4 games. And we got Argentina as well. We got Argentina. Then we got those warm-ups against Wales, England and the All Blacks. So we got 5 games left before the World Cup. So you know what? In those 5 games, we can improve. But if we perform like this in the World Cup, you guys can forget it. We're not going to win this World Cup then. That's why I'd rather perform that way now, than perform that way in the World Cup. But I just want to say, the All Blacks, well done. Loved your performance. It was a joy to watch you. I've got 2 guys that I want to commend as man of the match. Look, obviously, player of the weekend, Richie Mwanga. But I want to Aaron Smith, Frizzell, and Jordan. Okay, and they also scored the tries. Wonderful performance. Aaron Smith, this weekend showed me why you're one of my favorite players. I loved your performance. The way you read that match was amazing. Mwanga as well. You've proven you've proven my point that you're the best fly that All Blacks have. Alright, anyways guys, please subscribe to my channel, comment on my video if you have anything on your mind, and share and like. Thank you guys. I'll speak to you in a short while again. Cheers.